everyone, hope you're all doing well. It's Ace Planespotting here at Manchester Airport. Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic week. I'm going to be here for the next few hours filming some aircraft, watching the planes come and go. We're going to have all the big aircraft like the A380, A350s, A330s, Boeing 777s and the 787 Dreamliners, plus all the smaller aircraft. So stick around, it's going to be a good one. Right, first up, we've got this Ryanair that's going to Dublin. It's a Boeing 737-800, registration 9HQAT, 10-year-old aircraft. Right, just coming into land then, we've got a Scandinavian Airbus A320neo arriving from Stockholm. If it wants to zoom, focus, there we go. You can probably tell there's something a little bit different about this video. Which is that it's 4K, 60 frames per second. And also I can now live stream as well, so I have got the functions that I want to have for this channel, which is awesome. So this is the new and improved Ace Planespotting. Okay, so the weather here at Manchester today, it's meant to be dry all day, which is fantastic because I don't like the wet stuff. It's going to be a bit cloudy, but that's okay. Right, so approaching the runway then, we've got a Jet 2 Airbus A321neo going to Berlin. Registration is GHLYN. And it first flew a month ago in November, so it's a brand new aircraft. Right, next up then we've got Ryanair going to Malaga. It's a Boeing 737-800. Registration is 9HQAA. And this one is 8 years old. Right, so we've got another Ryanair heading for the runway. So just completing its taxi. And just behind it is a Boeing 777 Etihad, which is taxiing towards the runway now. So I've also got a different microphone set up as well, which hopefully it's going to be capturing the rumbles, the deep rumbles that you get from the aircraft taking off, which my previous setup just couldn't quite capture. So I hope that this new setup is going to greatly improve the viewing experience for you guys, which is what it's all about. Right, just coming into land, we've got an Airbus A320neo arriving from London Heathrow, British Airways. So I'm not sure why the Ryanair is holding. There's nothing on the runway, so I guess it will start moving very shortly. So the Etihad is going to Abu Dhabi. It's Boeing 737-300. Registration A6ETI. It's a 13-year-old aircraft. So the 777s usually give a really good roar as they take off, big low rumble, so hopefully the new mics will pick it up really well. Right, and off that goes to Abu Dhabi. Right, so there we go, we were just waiting for the 777, which had to go before this one. But now the Ryanair going to Rome is on the runway. I'm just awaiting its clearance to take off. Whilst we're waiting, I'm just going to remove the handle off my tripod because it's annoying me a little bit. It's getting in the way. Right, there we go. So this Ryanair is actually operated by Malta Air. First flew in 2014. Okay, next up then, let's have a look what we've got. We've got Jet 2, which is a Boeing 737-800 going to Rome. Registration is GDRTD, and this particular aircraft is 19 years old. First flew in April 2006. Got a few other aircraft waiting to take off as well. Got a Jet 2, Aer Lingus, and a Gulfstream. Right, so this Jet 2 is going to Kusamo. It's Boeing 737-800. Registration is GDRTJ. This one first flew in May 2009, making it 16 years old. Okay, next up then we've got a Gulfstream. So a G650ER Gulfstream. I have no idea where it's going, how old it is, because I don't have any information on the screen about it. All I know is what it is. So just recently I've had a bit of flu, so I'm still a bit stuffy from that. Just got a bit of a bunged up nose today. Right, next up then we've got a Jet 2 Airbus A321neo going to Vienna. Registration GHLYJ. This one first flew in January 2025. So what, 11 months old. Okay, next up then we've got Aer Lingus ATR 72-600 going to Belfast. This one first flew in May 2016. Right, we've got two planes heading for the runway. We've got an EasyJet on the right, and on the left it is a 2E. We've also got a Ryanair taxiing as well. But we'll stick with the EasyJet because that's going to be first. It's an Airbus A320-200 going to Berlin. Registration is OEIND. First flew in June 2017. Just arrived a minute ago was a, where's it gone? There it is. Finnair Airbus A321 from Helsinki. Less than a week till Christmas at this point. Are you all ready for Christmas? I know that I'm not. Still got stuff to get for people. Get the food in and stuff. But yeah, it's hopefully it'll be a nice Christmas. I'm going to be doing a Christmas special live stream on Christmas Eve. So keep an eye out for that one. I might record it as a 4K video, I'm not sure yet, I'll decide later. But yeah, that should be a good video. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you saw it, just then there was a bird flew right close to the plane. Thankfully it didn't hit it or anything. Okay, so this TUI is going to Boa Vista. It's a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Registration is GTUMM. First flew in April 2022. Also on taxi, we've got a EasyJet Airbus A320-200 going to Belfast. Registration is GEZOH. First flew in March of 2015. We've got a Scandinavian on approach. It's a few miles out, so it'll be a couple of minutes before that arrives. On the ground in the airport, we have got an A380 Super Jumbo that will be taking off in a bit. We've got A350s, A330s, Dreamliners. So there's plenty of action coming up. Right, so just behind the TUI there is a Jet2 Airbus A321neo going to Tenerife. Registration is GSUNL. First flew in August 2024. So it's on the runway now, it's just going to make its turn, get lined up. Okay, taxiing out is Norrigney, ATR 72600, going to Guernsey. Also taxiing towards the runway, we've got, it's like a Ryanair, (737 MAX 8-200), which is going to Malta. Okay, so the TUI is still sat there waiting for its departure. Right, so the Ryanair is 737 MAX 8-200. Its registration is EIHEW, and it first flew in November 2019. But very shortly we should have a Dreamliner departing. Qatar Airways 7879 Dreamliner should appear very soon. So I was asked recently by one of my viewers called Simon. I was asked what's the worst plane I've ever flown on. I think the worst one would have to be a Stobart Air, which doesn't exist anymore, but the Stobart Air, it was an ATR 42. It was an absolute bucket of an aircraft. It was horrible. It was rattling. It just felt like it was going to fall apart. It looked not in the best of condition, and got on board. They had to move people around to balance the aircraft out, and when it was taking off, everything was just rattling, and it was just an absolutely uncomfortable flight. Rude staff, and not a great experience at all. It's no surprise that they went bust. If all of their services were like that, and thankfully that was the first and last experience I ever had with them. Right, here we go with the Ryanair. On the flip side as well, the best experience I've ever had was on a KLM 747, which went from London Heathrow over to Colorado. It was a really enjoyable flight. Flight attendants who had a bit of a laugh with us all. And it was just super comfortable. All the in-flight entertainment worked, and it was a long haul flight. But it was my favourite one. I've flown on Ryanair quite a few times. I know they get a bad rap, but I can only say good things from my experience. I've always had a good experience flying with them. And off it goes to Dublin. Right, on approach then we've got a Turkish Airlines Airbus A321neo, which will be with us in a couple of minutes. It's currently over Hyde, so it's still a good few miles away. Looking over towards the terminal, we've got looks like a KLM City Hopper, which is going to Amsterdam. Right, so I'm not sure why the 2E is just sat there, not taking off. Runway's clear. Maybe it's just waiting for its takeoff slot. Right, it's this KLM. It is Boeing 737-800. Registration is PH BCB. First flew in May 2011. Right, so the 2E is now heading onto the runway. So just once again, this one is going to Boa Vista, Boeing 737 MAX 8. Registration TUMM. First flew in April 2022. Right, so here's the Turkish Airlines that just landed a few moments ago. Okay, next up then we've got a Jet 2 Airbus A321neo that is going to Rovaniemi. Registration GSUNH. First through March 2024. The sun's up as well, so conditions here are improving. So just behind me, you see the sun has pokes its head up over the horizon. Okay, we've got another TUI heading for the runway. This one is going to Sharm el Sheikh. It's a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Registration is GTUOA, which first flew in December 2024, so it's a year old. Right, so it's ready to depart, just waiting its final clearance. Let's have a look over towards the terminal building, see exactly what we can see. Start over on the right hand side, so over here is Terminal 3. Of 3-4 Ryanairs at the stands. As we move over this way, this becomes Terminal 1. Terminal 1 is closed at the moment, it's being refurbished, being used by Terminal 3. So we've got Ryanair just completing its pushback. Okay, so we've got a Jet 2 that's taxiing. The tail that you can see is an Airbus A330, which will be taking off soon. So it's Hainan Airlines Airbus A330. Right, we've got the Dreamliner. This is the Qatar Airways Boeing 7879 Dreamliner going to Doha. So do let me know in the comments then what you think to this new and improved video quality is like. Let me know what you think about the video. I know a lot of people watch on their TVs. That's where this new video quality will really come into its own. Right, so this particular Dreamliner, it's first flew in January 2021. Its registration is A7BHM. It is off to Doha. The Dreamliner is one of my favourite aircraft. I love the shape of it. I love the engine noise it makes. It's very unique. So usually with the Dreamliners they would usually start take-off run at the very beginning of the runway, but this one isn't. This one is going to be taking off a little bit further along. How it goes. Okay, what have we got next? Just arrived is this Jet 2 from Glasgow. Airbus A321neo. It's taxi, and then we've got Ryanair, Boeing 737-800 going to Belfast. Behind it we've got a Lufthansa Star Alliance livery going to Frankfurt, Airbus A319. Behind that we've got a Jet 2 going to Antalya. And somewhere over this way, there it is. It's hiding. It's a little Air Service Liege Cessna Citation going to Amsterdam. In fact, no, it's just arrived from Amsterdam. I missed that one, not to worry. Would have been difficult to see a little aircraft anyway. Okay, so which one's going to be first? Right, so it looks like the Jet 2 is first. So the Jet 2 going to Antalya, Boeing 737-800. Registration is GJZDD. This one first flew in September 2010. Okay, next up then is the Lufthansa Airbus A319-100 going to Frankfurt. Registration DAIBH. First flew in July 2012. this Ryanair, let's have a look at it. So it's going to be going to Belfast, Boeing 737-800. Registration is GRUKA. First flew September 2014. Where's this little plane? This is one I thought I had landed that I missed. Actually, it was taking off. The information I've got is all wrong. All I know is it's an air service liege, Cessna citation, sovereign, registration PH UZI, that first flew in 2012. Now, the information I have says that it's arrived from Amsterdam and it's going to Manchester. But that possibly is the wrong way round. So it's possibly going to Amsterdam. We've also got a Ryanair and two TUIs heading for the runway as well. So it's turning out to be an absolutely lovely day. It is cold, it is winter, but the sun's out and it's a good day for some plane watching. Off it goes into the yonder. Right, let's have a look then. So next up then we've got a TUI. This TUI is going to Funchal, Boeing 737 MAX 8, registration GTUMB, first flew November 2018. I don't know if anybody heard in the news recently, TUI scrapped a Dreamliner. It flew down to the Cotswold Airport, final flight. Its lease was up and they decided to scrap it. reason behind that was that it's going to be worth more in parts than it would be to continue operating it in service. It was one of the 7878 Dreamliners, one of the small ones. So in a way it does make sense, because the bigger Dreamliners are just much more economical. So I'm kind of expecting more of the 7878 Dreamliners to get scrapped in the coming year or two. We'll see what happens with that. It's a shame, because I really like the Dreamliners. Right, so this Ryanair is going to Pisa, Boeing 737 MAX 8200. Registration EI-IJX, and it first flew in July 2024. Right, so we've got a TUI entering the runway. It's going to Enfida, Boeing 737-800, registration GTUKW. First flew in March 2013. Just coming in behind it is an Air France Airbus A220-300 from Paris. Right, next up then we have got the Swiss Airbus A320-200 in the Star Alliance livery going to Zurich. Registration is HBIGM. First flew in October 1996. Almost 30 years old. Just behind it is an Airbus A330, which is a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330. which is arriving from Atlanta. I've got quite a few aircraft heading for the runway. Next up is the Ryanair going to Alicante, Boeing 737-800, registration EI DPY. First flew in August 2007. If you take a look at the very back of the aircraft as it goes past, look just behind the tail at the APU, the auxiliary power unit. On the 737s, on the 737-800s, it is short and stubby. I'll show you. Just there, just behind the tail. So it's like a little third engine that aircraft have. And the quickest way to differentiate between the 737-800s and the 737 Maxes is by looking at the APU. On the Boeing 737 MAX series, the APU is long and pointy, so that's the easiest way to tell them apart. It was a question I got asked a while ago. Right, we've got 737-800 Norwegian going to Oslo in the Alexis Kiwi livery. Registration LN ENQ. First flew November 2017. We've got a TUI going onto the runway ahead of it. Going to Gran Canaria, 737-800. Registration GFDZR. First flew in March 2009. Right, so on the runway then we've got the British Airways going to London Heathrow, Airbus A320-200, registration GEUYT, first flew in 2014. Okay, lined up next then is a Ryanair 737-800 going to Oslo. Okay, the next plane's a Ryanair 737 MAX 8200. I'll show you the APU in a second. Registration EIIJY going to Cork. 1-year-old aircraft. So you can see the difference there between them. The Maxos is pointy and the earlier versions are stubby. What is the APU, you might ask? It's the auxiliary power unit. It's the third jet engine that these airliners have got. It helps for things like the air conditioning, helps with starting the aircraft. Right, so this Ryanair is going to Katowice, Boeing 737-800, registration SP-RSV. First flew in 2017. So just a moment ago we had this EasyJet arrived from Amsterdam, Airbus A320-200. So just a few minutes ago we had the Norwegian plane. I flew Norwegian, went to Trondheim, went from Amsterdam, Schiphol to Trondheim. Love Trondheim, it's a great place. And Once we arrived at Trondheim, they had all the sniffer dogs out for the Amsterdam flight. It was quite funny. We weren't bothered about any other flights that were there, it was just the one from Amsterdam. Right, so coming up very soon we've got an A350 Cathay Pacific going to Hong Kong and an A350 Virgin Atlantic going to Orlando and an Airbus A330 going to Bridgetown, Aer Lingus. Which does have the Gulf Air Dreamliner. Singapore Airlines A350 and a Junyao Air Dreamliner as well, so quite a few of the big aircraft are going to be taking off very, very shortly. That's a Scandinavian tail. Right, just arrived a moment ago. Let's see, there it is. It's a Loganair ATR 72-600 that's just arriving from the Isle of Man. Anyone not familiar with the Isle of Man, it's an island that sits in the Irish Sea between Scotland, Wales, England and Ireland. Right, this is a Jet2 Boeing 737-800 which is going to Fuerteventura. Registration is GDFR. This one first flew in June 2003. Just over this way is the Scandinavian Airbus A320neo that's going to Stockholm. It's just arrived as a Boeing 737 MAX 8 Iceland Air, just arrived from Reykjavik. Right, so it's all lined up now, just waiting for its authorization to take off. Bushes are always getting in the way. Could definitely do with trimming their bush. Right, next up then we've got a Scandinavian Airbus A320neo going to Stockholm. Registration is SERON. First flew in August 2018. We've also got a Jet 2 and an EasyJet, which are almost at the runway now as well, so we've got a few taking off after this one. Right, next up then we've got a Jet 2 going to Funchal, Airbus A321neo. Registration GSUNG. First flew March 2024. I've never been to Funchal, but I've heard it's a really good destination to go for a holiday. Okay, next up we've got the EasyJet going to Prague. Airbus A320-200, registration GEZWK. First flew in June of 2013. Okay, just arrived a minute ago was the Ryanair, arriving from Copenhagen, Boeing 737-800. We've also got an airliners heading for the runway. Forgot to say as well, the runway we're using today is 23 left for takeoffs, and 23 right for the landings. This is Airliners Airbus A320-200, registration EIDVG, going to Dublin. This one first flew in November 2007. Coming in to land is a Pegasus Airbus A321neo, arriving from Istanbul. Should come into view in just a minute or so. A few seconds, there we go. KLM that's sat on the taxiway. Arrived a while ago. Right, let's have a look then over towards the terminals and see if we can see any of the big aircraft. So we should see a couple of Dreamliners or the A350s appearing at any time now. Right, so as we're waiting for them, there's nothing on approach, and we have got planes taxiing within be a minute or so. I'll give you a quick tour of the airport. Right, so we'll start over here then. This is the runway viewing park. It's got a little fairground there for the kids. Just behind that tent there is an Avro RJX, which was the last commercial airliner to be fully built here in the UK. It's a big hangar which has got a Concorde in there and a cafe. You can just make out where those people are stood. That's the raised decking area where you can get a good view of the airfield. And there's a Trident and a Nimrod. It's well worth going to visit sometime if you're ever in the area. But there's the engine test bay. Doing like engine spin tests and things. A couple of hangars where they do aircraft renovations and conversions. Just recently they had a 777, a former Qatar Airways 777, which got converted into a freighter. Right, so we've got a 737-800 Jet 2 going to Lanzarote, registration GDRTV. It's a 10-year-old aircraft. Next up is a Scandinavian Airbus A320neo going to Copenhagen. Registration is EISII. 7-year-old aircraft, first flew December 2018. Okay, here's one of the Dreamliners. This one is the Junyao Air in the Oriental Ruby livery. Livery. Okay, so this one's going to be going to Shanghai, and it's a Boeing 7879 Dreamliner. This particular one first flew in February 2020. Registration is B20EC. I can also see the A350 Singapore Airlines just leaving the terminal area. I do like the liveries of the Junyao Air. I think they're very decorative, very artistic. Okay, and here we go with the A350. It's an A350-900 going to Singapore Airlines. Registration 9VSMW. First flew in August 2019. Okay, we've also got a Dreamliner by the looks of it. Where's it gone? Or was I seeing things? I might have just been seeing things. I thought I saw a Dreamliner, it wasn't. But we are expecting a Dreamliner very shortly. Right, so Jet 2. This one, it's an Airbus A321neo going to Lanzarote. Fantastic destination. Registration GSUNV. This one first flew in August 2025, so just a few months old. And making its way to the runways of Finnair Airbus A321-200 going to Helsinki. Not sure what that is there, that's giving a big bright reflection. Right, so it looks like the Finnair is going to be going first, so its registration is OHLZR. It first flew in November 2017. Okay, if I take a look over towards the tower, I can see the movement there of an A380 tail. So we're going to have the A380 taking off within the next few minutes, which is cool. Love a bit of A380 action. Right, just a little plane there that's just arrived. It's a NetJets by the look of it. It's an Embraer Phenom 300. It's arrived from London. London City Airport. But we're still waiting then for this Jet 2 to enter the runway. It's going to Lanzarote. GSUNV is the reg. Airbus A321neo. First flew August 2025. I think I said all that a minute ago, but there you go. You've got it again. Right, I can see an A350. This A350 is going to Hong Kong. It's an A350-900. Registration is BLRV. First flew in October 2017. This was one of the smaller A350s, the 900 series. Just go past there is the Brussels Airlines Airbus A320neo from Brussels. I was recently watching a really good YouTube video about how the A350 is manufactured. It's an absolutely incredible aircraft. There we go, little wobble as it took off. We've got a Dreamliner on approach as well, an Indigo 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Mumbai. It'll be with us in a minute or so. It's currently over Stockport, so not too far away. So just in the background a moment ago is Jet 2 going to Tenerife, Boeing 737-800. This one's a 7879 Dreamliner. See the vertical black line on the engine nacelles are just closing. Those are the reverse thrusters. So this is what this one's going to Tenerife, Boeing 737-800. Love Tenerife, it's a great place to be. Last time I went to Tenerife, it was January, but it was still in the 30s. Went to a little eco-village place just south of the South Airport, right on the coast, and it turned out to be a nudist beach, which I didn't discover till I got there. Saw some bloke jogging past with his junk out, bobbing up and down. I was like, okay. And then realised everybody else was getting their kit off. I was like, oh. So, you know, had to join in, as you do. Must have stuck out like a sore thumb. Everyone there with their golden brown, bronze, sun-kissed bodies, and there was me, pale as anything. Right, just arriving then, we've got a Lufthansa Airbus A320 Neo arriving from Munich. Registration is D8IJQ. Right, now it looks like we've transitioned from dual runway use to single runway use, because the Dreamliner that I saw a second ago is heading to the end of 23 right. So it would make sense, because they usually do just operate one runway from about 11 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock now, so yeah, that does make sense. Anyway, just at the end of the runway, we've got a 787-9 Dreamliner operated by TUI that's going to be going to Bridgetown. Registration GTUIO, which first flew November 2019. That's going to be the next one to take off. This Airbus A380 that we're looking at now is going to Dubai. So Emirates A380. Registration A6EUX, and it first flew in 2017. Just coming into land is a TAP Express Embraer E195. Arriving from Lisbon. Registration CSTTX. Dwarfed by the A380. Okay, let's have a look then. So down at the other end of the runway, just there is the tip of the tail of the TUI Dreamliner. It is on the runway, it's just completing its turn. Love the curvature of the wings of the Dreamliners. It's a great shape for the aircraft. Right, so that one's gone. What else have we got then? We've got, just coming into land, the Boeing 737-800 Ryanair arriving from Dublin. Registration EIDCM. Just there's the Gulf Air Dreamliner, 7879 Dreamliner, going to Abu Dhabi. Sorry, going to Bahrain. Okay, next to land is a Sun Express 737-800. It's got the Frankfurt livery on it. So the aircraft waiting to take off, just waiting for this one to pass. They may wait for the next one as well, which is a Ryanair. So yeah, it looks like they're waiting for the next plane to land before taking off. Got British Airways heading for the runway by the looks of it as well. Got Ryanair. So don't forget to drop me a comment just to say hi, how you doing. I do like to hear from you all. Do try to reply to as many comments as I can. And tell me what your favourite aircraft is. So in order then we've got the A380 Emirates. Behind it is the Gulf Air Dreamliner. Behind it, that one is looks like a Jet 2. Another Jet 2 behind it. The British Airways behind that. And the Ryanair behind that one. So quite a few are ready to take off in a quick succession. Right, the Ryanair that's landing is arriving. It's get myself into a tongue twister. It's just arriving from Shannon, 737-800. Okay, so the A380 is now on the runway. It's just completing its turn to get itself into position. Right, so it's ready to begin its takeoff run. That takeoff has actually impressed me. Usually it takes up quite a lot of more runway than what it did. That was quite a short takeoff distance. Awesome. I've not seen an A380 take off that quickly for a while. Okay, we've got a plane coming into land. It's Logan Air, Embraer ERJ 145. It's arriving from Exeter. Registration is GSAJG. It's a bit of a mouthful. GSAJG. Yeah, said it right. This is one of the newer routes that Logan Air is running into Manchester. This particular aircraft first flew in 1999, so it's quite an old aircraft. Right, looking back then to the end of the runway. Let's have a look. There we go. So we've got the Gulf Air Dreamliner 7879 Dreamliner going to Bahrain. Registration is A9CFC. First flew in July of 2018. All we need now is the Jaws music. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, and off it goes to Bahrain. Okay, what have we got next? I think we've got a plane coming in. Yeah, we've got a Ryanair. Boeing 737 MAX 8-200. That is arriving from Valencia. Registration EI IHM. Question I had a while ago is how can you visually differentiate between the what is the difference between the MAX 8 and the MAX 8-200 737s? So the main difference is in the seating capacity. So the MAX 8-200s are more condensed, they can sit more bums on seats. The MAX 8 is a little bit more spacious. Okay, next to take off is going to be an EasyJet. Don't know if you can see the tail. Right, but it will appear in just a minute anyway. It is on the runway. It's 737-800 going to Tenerife. There we go. Registration is GDRTF. Okay, just coming into land. Let's get it zoomed in, there we go. It's an EasyJet from Paris, Airbus A320-200, registration GEZUA. Right, next up then we've got a Jet 2 Boeing 737-800 going to Leeds. Just a short flight for that one. Registration GJZDG. It should make an appearance any second now. There we go. Right, so just arrived then, so just taken off. It's a British Airways Airbus A320neo. off to London. Right, the next plane to take off then is a Loganair. It's an Embraer, sorry, an ATR 72-600 going to the Isle of Man. So just wait for it to appear. We've got a couple of Airbus A330s that are going to be taking off very soon. We've got the Hainan Airlines A330 going to Beijing. It's going to be a TUI Dreamliner heading out as well very shortly. And an Aer Lingus A330 going to Bridgetown. Now, we were expecting another A380 to arrive. It was due about 5 minutes ago, but unfortunately it's been delayed quite significantly, so it's not due to arrive now till 2:45 this afternoon, by which time I will be gone. So let's have a look, see what's happening. We were supposed to have an Indigo Dreamliner going to Delhi. That's been delayed quite a bit as well, so we won't get to see that today. Right, so yeah, after the Dreamliner and the two A330s, I'm going to call it a day. Right, next to take off then is Turkish Airlines Airbus A321neo. Which is going to Istanbul. Right, so that tail there is the Hainan Airlines Airbus A330, which is taxiing, which is a good sign. Okay, just coming into land is a Ryanair. It's coming in from Grenoble, Boeing 737-800, focus. Registration is EIDPZ. It's an 18-year-old aircraft, this one. Okay, next to take off then is a Jet2 Airbus A321neo going to Gran Canaria. Another excellent destination. Registration for this one will be GSUNP. First flew in June this year, so a 5-month-old aircraft. Just wait for the tail to appear on the horizon. There we go, just to the left of the windsock. Right, so there's the A330 Hainan Airlines making its way to the runway. So this particular Airbus A330 is going to Beijing. Registration is B303Z. It's an A330-300, 7 years old. Okay, just coming into land is a viewling. It's an Airbus A320-200. Just get it to focus. There we go. Registration is ECMAH, 11-year-old aircraft arriving from Barcelona. Let's have a look down at the end then, because we should have the Ryanair 737 MAX 8200 making its turn onto the runway. Should come into view in just a minute or so. Over there we've got a Dreamliner heading out. So the Ryanair is going to Tenerife, 737 MAX 8200, there it is. And the next plane is the Hainan Airlines A330-300, which is on the runway, just getting itself lined up. Okay, in a minute or so we should be able to see the other A330. It's the Air France A220 that's going to Paris. So there we go, this is the Aer Lingus Airbus A330. So this A330-300 is going to Bridgetown. Registration is EIK. 19-year-old aircraft. The TUI Dreamliner is going to Punta Cana. It's a 787-8 Dreamliner, the same type that they scrapped last week. This one is registration is GTUIH, and it is a 10-year-old aircraft. Right, the next plane to land is going to be a Ryanair 737-800 coming in from Dublin. It's on its final approach. I'll switch the camera to that one as it gets a bit closer. But we have also got an A350 about to depart as well, so I'll hang around for the A350, but after the A350 I am going to have to scoot. I've got things to do. Right, so the Dreamliner then is fading out of reality. There we go. Come on, camera. Right, so the TUI Dreamliner is on the runway. So I think all of these 7878 TUI Dreamliners, as the lease on them expires, I think they're all probably going to end up getting scrapped, because they are worth more in parts than they are to keep flying. Let's see if we can see the A350. It's usually parked quite far out of view, so yeah, I can't see it just yet. Right, just arriving then is a Loganair ATR 72-600 from Newquay. Right, next to take off then is the Air France Airbus A220-300 going to Paris. It's a new aircraft, first flew in July this year, registration FHPNU. It is on the runway, I just can't see it yet. It will come into view in just a few seconds as it begins its takeoff run. Right, we've got a Dreamliner just about to land. It's a Saudi Air Dreamliner. It's a 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Jeddah. Registration HZARD. This one's a 9-year-old aircraft. Okay, what have we got next then? Next up we have got the TUI 737 MAX 8 going to Hurghada. Registration GTUMD, 6-year-old aircraft. So that one took up quite a bit of a runway, which I wasn't expecting. Quite a low angle of ascent. They usually take off much quicker than that. Right, we have got taxiing a Airbus A350. I saw it just a moment ago. Where's it gone? There we go. Virgin Atlantic Airbus A350. This is the longer version, the 1000. Right, just coming into land, then we have got Ryanair. So 737-800 arriving from Brussels. Right, next to take off then is going to be the Airliners. Bus A330-300 going to Bridgetown. Registration EIK, which first flew in September 2006. So it is on the runway, it's just getting itself lined up. They are talking about stopping some of these A330 flights, Aer Lingus from Manchester. They're saying they're not doing so well out of this hub, Aer Lingus. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll keep some on, because I do like their aircraft. I do like seeing them here. But we'll see how that one develops. Right, just coming in then is an EasyJet from Innsbruck. Airbus A320 Neo. Registration GUZLR. Right, next to take off then is going to be a Jet 2 going to Tenerife. It's going to be an Airbus A321 Neo. Registration GSUNR, which is a brand new aircraft. First flew in September this year. next up is an EasyJet Airbus A320-200 going to Amsterdam. Registration GEZUL, 13-year-old aircraft. So this one has just leapfrogged to the A350. Right, next up then is an EasyJet Airbus A320-200 that's going to Paris. Registration GEZTZ. Right, next up then is a plane coming into land. It's an EasyJet Airbus A320-200. There it is. Arriving from Barcelona. Registration GEZTK. This one's a 16-year-old aircraft. And then after this one will be the last plane of the day, which will be the Virgin Atlantic A350-1000. So please don't forget to comment. I'd really appreciate it if you do leave me a comment, even if it's just to say hi, where it is in the world that you're watching from, what your favourite aircraft is, what you think of the video, anything like that. How are you enjoying my videos in 4K? I'm going to be aiming to do at least one live stream a week. And 2 recorded videos like this one. I might increase the live stream to 2 a week. I'll see how I get on. Obviously it all depends on the weather as well. Right, so then let's have a look then over there. Right, so Virgin Atlantic Airbus A350, registration GVJAM. It's an A350-1000, the bigger version. It's going to Orlando, and this particular one is 6 years old. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for watching the video. Really appreciate it. You're awesome. If you could do me then, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. I'll see you on the next video, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic weekend. And see you on the next video. next time. Bye.